How many hearts have you broken with those great big beautiful eyes? Those great big beautiful eyes that tell such beautiful lies.
How many times have you kissed somebody like you kissed me then? I don't.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important message from the Prepared Mind Network.
Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Folks, I hope you are patriotic. I feel like I'm a patriotic guy. I feel like I understand history, human nature, government, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the purpose of that American flag is to remind us, all of us, that we are Americans. Now, apparently they don't understand that in Washington, D.C. It has hit the fan out there, and it's continuing to get worse. And folks, they're even turning the knob up on stupid. Now, the federal government has now put a demand out there and a warning and a caution, but you better pay attention. They're saying employers must use workers' preferred pronouns and also allow them, the workers, to use bathrooms that match their gender identity, or those employers could face a punishment. Folks, they're taking the shit and they're ramming it down our throats. Literally ramming it down our throats. I can't think of anything. Well, no, I can think of a lot of things that are more unconstitutional, but this is right up there with them. The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the EEOC, on Monday updated its guidance on workplace harassment to cover transgender, non-binary, and other LGBTQ workers. Now, what cracks me up is they're calling them workers. I don't know any non-binary LGBTQ workers or transgender workers. You know what those people are? They sit around and bitch, whine, piss, moan, and complain. And then, through their entitled attitude, they want to be compensated. Whew, for shit they haven't even done. Anyways, look, the Democrats own the EEOC, and they voted to update its guidance. Guidance. There's a difference between being guided and being forced. We'll get to that at the end of this. Now, employers can end up in court if they don't follow these anti-bias laws and don't adhere to the EEOC guidelines. Folks, guidance is not law, and it is not legally binding, admits the EEOC. But they lay out a blueprint for how they may enforce anti-bias laws that end up in court. So right off the bat, fuck you to the EEOC. We folks, we as individuals, private, whether we're workers or part of a company, we do not have to accept mental illness as a fact, as a truth, or as part of law. They can fuck off all the way to the cliffs and then right over it. Like, mentally deranged and incompetent morons are not to be worshipped, obeyed, or even encouraged. And I have zero, zilch, nada obligation to anyone to speak a lie just because they demand a lie. Men are not women, even if they wish they were and claim to be. No more than a man can be a lion, a fire hydrant, a sequoia tree, a chunk of the moon, or a hemorrhoid on Satan's ass. I mean, why don't they try that one and then make people accept it? It's folks, it is not even comical anymore. These fucking people. It's not even comical. It is I think it is beyond being misguided. It has become criminal what they are doing, unconstitutional as well as unconscionable. The damage to this country is here. Shit has hit the fan and it's going to stay. These fucking miscreants, these morons, you should see their pictures all over Twitter, Instagram, Google, all of these. I've got colored hair and I'm an ugly fruitcake. I mean, you don't have to be a supermodel to be handsome or attractive. You just have to dress well and present yourself well. Every last one of these leftist fucksticks looks like they lost a fight with a gang of Wolverines and then wrestled and lost a fight with a case of spray paint. They're that fucking stupid. Now, I've got more good news for you. This is actually good news. Remember the old white man who is a rancher in Arizona? His property was being violated. His property had trespassers all over it. They were threatening him. So he fired a warning shot over the heads of some illegal United States of America invaders. And one of them was later found dead. They did not have a bullet. No evidence to match to say that the round that was fired by the rancher was the round that hit the illegal America invading immigrant. No. Invader, criminal, scumbag, terrorist, enemy. Well, they tried this man, even though it's Arizona and you have a right. Folks, you have a right to protect yourself. They still decided to try and convict him, but guess what? They could not. They had one person on the jury, is my understanding, who would not say innocent. They wanted desperately to find him guilty. Well, they couldn't come to a conclusion. And the state prosecutors, rather than retry him, decided to let him walk. Folks, you don't have to listen to a prosecutor. And the entire jury, with the exception of one, maybe two people, wouldn't listen to the fucking prosecutors. Right? As far as George Kelly, an innocent man, he says the nightmare is over with these fucking people. At some point, folks, they'll try and arrest all of us if they have their way. Arrest us, jail us, incarcerate us in concentration camps, murder us if they can get away with it. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and your means of self-defense. Are you ready? Right? This guy, George Kelly, managed to win. But if they keep pushing all of this, illegals are good. Transgenders are good. Government is great, and you are scum. If you believe that, you will suffer for it. I'm telling you. All right. It's Tuesday. I tell you what, get your questions down below. Mr. Uman is here. He's got some stuff to say. There's some stuff happening out there. But I want to know what you have to say in the second half of the hour. This hour-long show live on thepreparedmind.club. Second half of the hour, guess what? It's going to be your chance to ask questions live all week long. All right, where do we go from here, folks? Where do we go from here? Oh, it's hit the fan. And a federal appeals court in West Virginia. No. A federal appeal court has ruled against West Virginia and also against North Carolina. And they're demanding, this federal court, that those states have to pay for transgender health care. Just how the fuck does that make sense? The federal government telling states they have to pay for people with a mental disorder who want to mutilate their own bodies. We are not a socialist country. We as individuals and collective groups shouldn't have to pay for the mentally deranged intentionally going out and mutilating themselves. It's fucking ridiculous. Unless the government wants to say these people are mentally deranged. And I think part of the mutilation should be instant and permanent sterilization. There's a start. But there's so much more that needs to happen to fix this problem, folks, to fix it. And it's not going to get fixed. Not that easy. No, sirree, Bob. They're coming after us socially, spiritually, morally, legally, in every fashion, folks. We used to talk about them using politics to get us. Now they're using courts. We used to talk about how they're coming after us with the mainstream media. Now they're coming after us on every single level, folks. Now let's talk about this way they're coming after us. Oklahoma public schools are trying to pass a chaplain bill. They want it to become law so that schools will have a chaplain. Wouldn't that be better than having a cop on every school? When instead you can have a chaplain? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a good idea to have a chaplain. Well, guess what? The Satanic Temple, if Oklahoma has a chaplain bill, they want to have their ministers in the schools. That's a great idea, don't you think? We need Satanists, satanic priests in our schools with our children. We go to work and pay taxes, and children, let's see, it's not enough to have a bunch of LGBTQ freaks as teachers, a bunch of communists and Marxists as teachers. It's not bad enough having kids who think they're animals, barking, growling, and biting in schools. It's not bad enough having fucking drag queens in school and gay pornography in the library promoting anal sex. It's not bad enough for that. No, we need some fucking Satanists in there. Kids are being hammered by these people. Now, while we're on the topic, I had a discussion with a good friend last night. It was a great discussion. If you see one of these fruitcakes that thinks they're a dog or a cat on the street, you should ask them right off the bat, where's your license and proof of a rabies injection? Dogs and cats must have licenses, dog tag, and proof. Dogs and cats are not allowed to be running around in a lot of places in public. Dogs must be leashed, have a collar and a leash. They must be accompanied by a human being. Otherwise, dogs and cats are scooped up by animal control and put in animal prison. Furthermore, they're dogs, they're cats, really? What breed are you? Well, that's funny. Dogs and cats all have full-on body fur. Dogs and cats don't wear clothing. Dogs and cats do not speak English. There's so much more to this. Hey, dog person or cat person, do you lick your own ass every night? Well, you should, because that's what you do. They should be locked in kennels. They should be forced to eat cat and dog food. Not allowed human food. Sorry, you're a dog. You're a cat. You want to be that? Fine. Oh, what about all those signs? Be kind. Spay and neuter your pet. Great idea. Remember, just last week, like another mom was complaining that her child, who identifies as a cat, the veterinarian refused to see the cat and treat this cat. It wasn't a cat, it's a child. Once again, mental illness, lunatics, and they're becoming way, way, way demanding and way, way, way violent. For example, the Charlotte shooter has now been identified as a male, 39-year-old. His name, Terry Clark Hughes Jr. He looked more like a Mustafa to me. In any event, I guess that would be profiling. Well, as it is, 4 law enforcement officers were killed. 8 were shot. 2 females arrested from his house, including a 17-year-old. There was a second shooter. Yeah, sounds like the Kennedy assassination. Sounds like a terror cell is being woken up. These sleeper cells. Folks, do you realize and remember that term, sleeper cells? I think this is coming. I do. I think it is coming. Let me remind you of what they think, what they say, what they believe. Right? While dishonoring America, while dishonoring our generosity, while dishonoring our kindness and our open society and culture, Hamas supporters shouted, "We will honor the martyrs." Fuck you, Hamas. Right? These people were at Columbia University smashing windows. They took control of a building in an overnight attack. They broke in. They broke out windows. They started flying their stinking, smelly Palestinian flags and their terrorist flags. You know what I think? Any American company that makes those fucked up flags for those people and the terrorist flags, let everyone else know what company are making shit and selling it to these fucking losers so they can deface and defile our country. And we need to make it very well known that they're going to be held responsible for supporting and giving aid and comfort to these fucking losers who are destroying our country. That's what they're doing. They're making a quick buck. Bullshit. They need to be held accountable, folks. These fucking terrorists are everywhere, and I'm getting sick and tired of them really, really fast. You know, the mainstream media calls them pro-Gaza supporters. Well, bullshit. These pieces of shit vandalized George Washington University campus. They're terrorists. They're not protesters. Right? They desecrated a George Washington statue with their terrorist flags and anti-American graffiti. Why the fuck are they even at George Washington University? They won't allow Jewish students on campus at many places if they see and think that they're Jewish, if they see a Star of David or a little funny hat or something else. Why is this being allowed? It is racial, it is religious discrimination. I'm sick of these fucking people. Look, if we're going to discriminate and get away with it, then let's let everyone discriminate and get away with it. And I will go out and start knocking some fucking heads around. And everyone else should as well, if we're going to allow that. You see, that's just it. These people are starting to act violent. The Summer of Love Part 2 has begun. Right? Now, we know that the police in Texas, in Florida, in many states, even some blue states, are trying to stop this shit. But they're being allowed to get away with it. They should be expelled from school instantly. And like Slovakia, I'm starting to think that states need to outlaw Islam and the Quran because it is being used as the justification and excuse for violence and treason. We don't have to allow treason, folks. Free speech? Sure, free speech. Treason? No. Religion? Religion is religion. But using your religion as justification for violence and murder, that kind of negates it from being a religion. It's more like a death cult and a gang. It is a gang when that religion is used to rape women, to assault and beat old people, to murder men and children, to steal, to lie and destroy. Fuck these people. It is over, in my opinion. I've had it with them and all their bullshit. All of it, fuck it. Just all of it. Now, I am not saying commit acts of violence. I'm not saying become abusive and criminal. I'm just saying I've had it with these fucking people. You think about it up here. I think about it up here. Everyone's thinking about it up here. When do the gloves come off and we start putting these people where they belong? Putting them down like, well, rabid dogs. It's coming because people are so pissed off, and even the mainstream media recognizes what is going on. For example, Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe, Asshole Joe, he knows. That's right, asshole, fuckstick, Joe Scarborough. And his partner, Micah, they are panicking. They are scared to death that all these college campus protests that are being put on by pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine, pro-terrorism, pro-murder, pro-baby murder, pro-baby sacrifice, pro-rape. That's right, folks, pro-rape. They're afraid that that is going to get Trump elected because he's saying enough of this shit. Trump ought to be speaking a lot more loudly, a lot more clearly, and a lot more frequently what he's going to do, not only with the illegal aliens, but what he's going to do with any of these people who are not American citizens, who are here on education visas and passes, and that they should be fucking deported instantly. And when it comes to anyone else who is supposedly an American, they need to have themselves assessed as a dangerous threat to this country. In other words, there is a terror watch list, is there not? They should all be on it. Because if they support Hamas or any other terror group, well, you've just announced that you are a terrorist. Period. Terrorist. They're fucking terrorists. Stop playing games with them. They're fucking terrorists. I don't think there's another way to put it. They're fucking terrorists. And the Democrats know it, and they're supporting them. Absolutely supporting them. I wonder, all these Democrats today, if their grandparents and great-grandparents were alive, what do you think they would do to them if they saw what they were doing today, what they were saying and supporting? They would blister their fucking asses with a 2x4. You know for a fucking fact that grandparents and great-grandparents were Americans. They love this country. And if they knew their descendants were doing what they're doing, they would blister their fucking hides with a paddle. And there would be no apologies for it. There would be no need to apologize for it. Right? Remember, we will honor all the martyrs. Are you fucking kidding me? Folks, violence is what these left-wing terrorists do. It's what they do. They start with some chanting, and then they get into bigger crowds, and then they start interfering with other people's rights. Then they start destroying property, vandalizing. They start screaming for the death and destruction of Americans and Jews and this country. And then they start committing acts of violence. Then murder. It always ends in terrorist murder, folks. Period. Are you surprised? Is what I'm saying shocking to you? Tell me what you think. Comments right down here. What do you think of the fact that these people are just hammering their way down the slippery slope from, oh, we're just mostly peaceful protesters, to committing acts of violence? And do you think murder's next? Tell me what you think. Put it in the comments, folks, because a lot of people will watch this and then they're going to wonder, well, what do these people who watch John's videos think? What do they say? What is their contribution to the discussion? That's where you are important, is down in the comment section. To let everyone else know it's not just this guy talking. Right? American patriots across the country. North, south, east, west. Even Alaska and Hawaii want to stomp these terrorists. Period. It's not a secret. It isn't. Folks, they're socially going after us on the street. It's not Big Brother with martial law and law enforcement organizations stomping on our faces. We're not there yet. Instead, they're doing exactly what Nazi Germany did in the 20s and the 1930s. They're doing exactly what the Russian Bolsheviks did prior to their revolution, into their revolution, and after they won their revolution. They're encouraging youths to violate other people's rights, commit acts of violence, destroy property, and ultimately start murdering people until the government had enough authority all wrangled up in one place to say, we're going to take people we don't like and throw them in fucking prisons. And that's exactly what happened. And once they have you in prison, once they have you in prison, it is over. It is over. They can kill you, torture you. They can medically experiment on you. And they can do far worse than that even, folks. I mean, look at what they're doing right now. Please listen to this. This is true. This has happened. In West Virginia, 5 girls, 5 young women have now been banned from sports. They've been banned from fucking sports because they refused to be in a competition against a transgender boy pretending to be a girl. So this fruitcake can compete in girls' sports, but these girls cannot. So a man can compete in women's sports, but women cannot because they refuse to compete against a man. Right? So students are now compelled to compete with women who have dicks. They're not women. I think it's fucking wonderful. Good. All women, be yourselves. Choose a different path. And let all these tranny fruitcakes, fruit salad tossing, pole smoking, light in the loafer, skinny jeans wearing, butt pirates. They need to compete against each other and watch them start crying. Oh my God, that guy girl beat me and I don't get to be on the trophy stand now. Bleh. Fuckers. Every last one of them are fuckers. And then fuck you to the schools for doing that to these women. Women who have dicks. They're not unbelievable, folks. Unfucking believable. And before we get to you guys and get your comments and thoughts down, you can respond to any of these topics or bring up your own in the comment section. We have a great crowd in here tonight. I'm looking at the count. Plenty of people. Folks, do you realize that Biden and pro-terrorist, pro-illegal coddling Democrats have killed a hero, a firefighter, with their bullshit policies? I mentioned a man who was a New York Fire Department employee. He was a fireman. He was considered a hero. He was beloved. He was married. He is a father. He was also a United States Marine. So fuck you to Mayor Adams, Biden, New York City, and Democrats, because they decided that it was more important to give money to illegals than to keep him on as a firefighter. Just unbelievable. But believe it, it is real. Believe it, it is going to continue. Whether you're a firefighter or a girl, whether you're an American or a real American, right? They're going to come after us all, period. Are you prepared? Are you prepared to see what they're going to do to you next? Oh, they've got a lot in store. Don't think we're at the end of it. Don't believe for a second that, well, they can't do much more to us than this. Don't ever fucking say that, because watch what they do next. Mr. Uman. Mr. Uman. Let's do this. Let's do the inner circle. Let's see what everyone else wants to talk about. Okay, that picture had me in the blue shirt, same blue shirt as this one. This is the fuck around and find out version of the Prepared Mind shirt. It was a limited edition. We did 100 shirts. They're out there. I kept 2 of them for myself, one in burgundy and one in light blue. Love it. On the back, it's got a silhouette of Kyle Rittenhouse. It says, fuck around and find out. And I love wearing these in public. Much like Chin Music likes to wear his liberals suck t-shirts out there. In any event, folks, it is our country, and we can take it back. We can lawfully demand the government knock this shit off, or we can literally, legally, legitimately, lawfully revolt and overthrow the government. They don't like to hear that. They don't like people talking about it. I am not recommending anybody break a law or harm anyone, but I'm telling you what your rights are. You have a right. I had another discussion yesterday trying to explain to someone that, look, you have a right to travel. You have a right to own private property and to go down any road, a common way. And I said, driver's license is for driving. Driving is a commercial activity. As a private person taking myself down a road, I shouldn't have to have either a driver's license or register my vehicle. And the person was like, what are you talking about? Where did you get that? I go, never mind. It's just part of history. It's part of history. Okay, the government cannot force you to get a permit for something that you can do by right. Right? Can the government make you get a permit to buy a gun? No. But they have a rule. I mean, make sure you're not a terrorist. I mean, a terrorist, right? They can't stop you from eating food. Eating food is a right. They can't stop you from drinking water. They can't stop you from breathing air. But they'll do everything they can to make life as difficult for us as they can. Fuck the government. As Ronald Reagan said, government is not the solution to our problems. Government is the problem. Okay, I tell you, Darcy T checks in and lets us know that a super athlete died suddenly pedaling from Philadelphia to New York. Died suddenly, heart attack related issues, age 24. This one just popped through in the email. And Chin Music sent a horrifying picture to me of some guy in drag, an awful, ugly, filthy human being. And the caption is, when you don't have to ask your second grade teacher who it's voting for. Folks, they're not comical. See, drag queens used to be kind of comical. You just laugh at them like, there's a fucking problem. No, they're now in your face and all over your children. Mr. Ooman, who out there has something to say? Who has something to talk about? And it is the Charlanator who says, what happens when we file lawsuits because we are offended by them and their actions? A Charlanator, that needs to happen right now. There needs to be lawsuits against our rights being violated, right? That the government is trying to force us to choke down law that isn't law, and fact that isn't fact, and science that isn't science. I think government needs to lose its immunity, the individuals in government that are pushing this. Don't say it's the office of the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. It's not the office of the EEOC. It's the members on it that are driving unconstitutional horse shit and parading it about and casting it on our heads as if it's gold coins. It's not. It's shit. It's absolute shit. Folks, I'm offended by these fucking people every day. And I can't wait for the day one of these dumb motherfuckers has the unmitigated audacity to try and tell me to call them by their proper pronoun. And I told that to people I work with today. I said, listen, not going to happen. I'm not going to tolerate it. Don't bring anyone in here. Don't get anyone around me that is one of these entitled fucksticks, because there will be huge problems. I don't want to hear that they get to win a lawsuit. Fuck that. I'll file a lawsuit against them, because the first thing I'll do is just start ramming pronouns down their throat, left and right, and make them continue to talk to me properly. And then, let's see, after 5 minutes of that, I'll feel offended and I'll sue them. I will fucking sue the shit out of them. Because unlike these loser shit stains out there who have not had a job since they graduated college and racked up $400,000 in student loans, and they don't have a fucking penny to their name as they go around trying to find jobs, right? I have an attorney on staff who will sue the shit out of them for harassing me, making a hostile work environment, and refusing to call me by my pronouns. Anyways, fuck them. We need to be going after them. Except I don't see these fucking freaks in my world. Every now and then I'll see one tranny type, fruitcake pipe person on the street. Every now and then. Hey, be yourself, fine, whatever. But none of them are in my face and telling me what I have to say. That I have to put on a mask. That I have to call them by a pronoun. That I have to accept them. No, I'll fucking laugh at them is what I do. All right. Thank you, Charlanator. Let's move on if we shall. I get all worked up over this shit, folks. Yeah, it's just the destruction of my fucking country. My heritage. My traditions, cultures, law. That's all. Nothing to be upset about. Chin music. He says, I remember when a furry was a chick in high school that didn't shave her armpits. She lives in Colorado now. That's interesting. Colorado is a fine place, you know. I'm surprised if this furry that you knew doesn't now shave her armpits, take testosterone, grow a mustache, and try putting muscles on. Unbelievable. It's just unfucking believable. You need to accept me for who I am. Why? You don't accept who you were born as. Why should I accept you when you don't accept yourself? You don't accept reality. You don't accept actual science. Fact. There ought to be a fucking test. Okay, you miracles of geniosity, go down to the zoo. Identify as a lion and go in the cage. Go in the cage. Show me how identifying something as something makes it reality. Right? A lion is not an intelligent creature the way a human is. Right? They're not as smart. They're not educated. They can't do math. Right? They don't have the wheel. They don't have fire. They're lions. Right? So the unintelligent, incapable, uneducated lion knows how to be a lion. It does not accept retardation, but you expect someone who is an intelligent, thinking creature that understands the wheel, fire, science, math, etc. I am supposed to accept something that a lion is like, you're out of your fucking mind. Even a lion knows and will eat these people. Well, it may not eat them. It may just maul the shit out of them and go, get that sack of shit out of my fucking cage. All right. All righty. Chin Music, who is not Chin Music. Thank you, Mr. Chin Music, for everything, man. I hope you're well. Mr. Uman. Mr. Uman, who is next? Oh, well, Badass Diving Frog wants to join the conversation, huh? He says, do these people play under power lines as kids? Oh, shit, paint chips, I think maybe. Yes, I think they ate the old lead-based paint. I think they ate toothpaste with extra fluoride. Folks, did you know toothpaste, or rather fluoride, sodium fluoride is a industrial byproduct, I believe, of aluminum smelting and manufacturing. And it's sold to cities to put in the water supply. But sodium fluoride causes brain damage and lowers IQ. Who the fuck thought that was a great idea to put in the water? Oh, wait, the government. The government. How smart is that? The government wants retards? Look at the colleges. Look at the schools. Look at Democrat voters. Yeah, they've made a shit pile of retards. They played under power lines. They licked the paint chips. Right? They made food and used toothpaste as an ingredient. They voluntarily submitted to shock therapy using 500,000 volts on a daily basis. I mean, how else can you cook your brains so much that you believe what is being shoved in your face? Now look. Go to a cat and take a hyper-realistic model of a dog's face and put it in the cat's face. Watch what happens. The cat will hiss, will defend itself, attack the dog, or run. In other words, I'm either going to fight or flight, get away. Do the same with a dog. Any animal, find its natural enemy, its opposite force, and show it its enemy, its opposite force, and they'll run. But human beings are like, well, I don't know. So you just shoved a pink-haired fruitcake who smells like shit and has a needle full of heroin sticking out of its arm, and it's telling me communism is a good thing. I'm going to think about this for a while. I want to thank you, pink-haired freak, for bringing that to my attention. No. You'll have the same and should have the same reaction as the cat when faced with a dog. You should either run the fuck away because it's offensive, or you should protect yourself. Fight or flight. Anyways, Badass Diving Frog, interesting topic. I'm glad you brought it up to think about it that way. What did these people do to become so retarded? So retarded. And they are. They have a retarded intelligence. They are incapable of learning fact, understanding reality. They can't grasp reality. Unbelievable. Okay, let's do this, Mr. Ooh-Man. What do we have? Ooh-Man says that, here we go, the big brains at Columbia College are demanding food and water? Yes. He says, you'd think those big brain trusts would have had the smarts to take over a cafeteria building. Logistics matter. See, they're not that fucking smart. They are retarded. They're retarded. Kind of like the dumb motherfuckers that glue themselves to the ground at car dealerships. People can walk up, kick them, spit on them, piss on them. I think it's funny as fuck. I think they literally should be urinated on. And then say, this is what happens when you glue yourself to the fucking ground in protest, period. The climate crisis, folks, is a fucking hoax. Climate crisis is a conspiracy against humanity. Climate crisis is a political hot potato that they're throwing about at each other, and then they expect us to pay taxes in order to stop. Climate scientists that aren't getting paid off by companies and willing to sell themselves out, they're the ones who come out and say, look, I studied it. I wrote papers on it. Folks, hundreds of papers, thousands of papers by climate scientists are out there right now saying it's a fucking hoax. Plymouth Rock that was around, I don't know. Plymouth Rock was around, 500 years ago. It's still right there on the shore where they found it the first time. Despite the fact that there was a mini ice age at the time. That's what it's called, the little ice age. Back in the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, a mini ice age. And it's done. We're now warmer because we're out of the mini ice age. before that, right, was a hot period. And then before that was the dark ages, right? Hot, cold, a little hot, little cold. Sea levels don't rise. Yet we've been told that polar bears and penguins are going to all die and drown, that sea levels will rise and cities will be destroyed. And here in Florida, folks, the coasts look fine. Florida is not underwater. And I would rather die underwater in Florida than live with a bunch of blue, green, red, purple-haired butt pirates surrounding me and making me chant ridiculous, retarded chants with them. Anyways, Columbia College students. Well, hold on to your thought there, Mikey. Hold on to your thought. You know, these Columbia students, they're not intelligent. And the ones that truly are foreign Muslims, they demonstrated they don't belong in college. They should be back at a primary school learning ABC, 1, 2, 3, dog, cat, tree. All right. Now, what were you saying there, Mikey? He says Al Gore made millions from that hoax. Oh, yeah. Al Gore has lined his pockets. I believe it is now 42 different climate predictions about the end of the world by important scientific and political people have all failed. They claim, well, in 5 years, in 10 years, this is the numbers they love to throw out. In 10 years, we're all going to die. In 10 years, the penguins will be gone. The bears will, in 10 years, the sea level is going to rise and consume and swallow cities. In 10 years, it's going to be irreversible. In 10 years, and they've been saying that for the last 50 fucking years. And they're wrong every single time. We're all going to die in 10 years if we don't solve this crisis. What crisis? The only crisis I see is a political crisis with fucking evil people in office in Washington, D.C., in Brussels at the European Union, in London, of course, in the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, and I'm going to give YouTube more stuff to complain about. You don't like me talking about the climate hoax, the climate crisis lie? How about the conspiracy of the Bilderberg World Economic Forum, New World Order asswipes? You can't say that, John. Oh, yeah. Let's see. The Great Reset. That's a conspiracy theory. No, it's a bunch of fucking books that were actually written. Oh, they're not going to really make us eat bugs. No, their fucking bugs are in food now. They're being listed in the ingredients. Find out what bug protein is being called in food and make sure the food you buy doesn't have it. Eat the bugs. You'll own the nothing and you'll like it. They're trying that right now, folks. The Great Reset, that means them taking everything you own and telling you too fucking bad. It's not a hoax, folks. The New World Order is real. George H.W. Bush, President of the United States, talked about it. Joe Biden talked about it. John Kerry talked about it. Every fucking politician mentions the New World Order. Barack, George W. Bush, everyone since Reagan has heard of it, admitted it, and talked about it, even when they changed it to the deep state.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state is the New World Order. And they're carrying out the Constitution. My fucking ass. They aren't doing anything about the Constitution except destroying it. Anyways, yeah, Al Gore made millions, but nations and these corporations are making billions of dollars, folks. And soon it'll be trillions and trillions. They want to destroy everyone and take all the money for themselves. That's what they're doing. Every last one of them, folks. That's exactly what they're doing. Thank you, Mikey G. I really appreciate the great support you and others offer, and that you bring up great topics during the shows all week long. You're not afraid to stand up and say the way it fucking is, right? So many people are afraid. Be brave, be strong, stand up for yourself. Help others see
that it's okay to speak up. You don't have to agree. Don't be afraid of these people. They're very weak. They're an incredibly, incredibly small percentage of the population. The only reason they appear to be everywhere and all powerful is because that's how the media presents it. And then the media presents the government as so powerful they can tell you what to do. Well, the EEOC really can't do anything to you or make any company except the fact that people with a mental disorder, gender dysphoria is a mental disorder. They're fucking lunatics. I don't have to accept lunacy, respect it, accept it, or acknowledge it. Fuck you, government. No, not happening. IQ, higher than a potato, higher than 100, higher than 120, higher than 130. You can't fucking make me believe stupid. All right, Mr. Uman, where are we going? What's next? Who's up? Who dat? And Name Redacted says, hey, John, history repeats. Russia had an Uncle Joe, and so do we. Does he mean Uncle Joe Stalin? Joseph Stalin, right? What about Joe Stalin? Joe Stalin was a communist. Let's see, when they first kicked out the Romanovs, no, they didn't kick them out of control, folks. They murdered them. They took the royal family, the Romanov family, they murdered the Tsar, the Tsarina, and their daughters and the son, and murdered them all, stabbed them with bayonets and shot the shit out of them. So that would be the communist, shall we say, revolutionaries. And then the military took control, and they wiped out the idiots. And then Joseph Stalin, Uncle Joe, once he got all the Utes to do their job, killed them off, killed off half his military because he didn't trust them. Does that sound like something Joe would do? Joe Biden or the Democrats? They're using idiot youths. They're fighting a revolution against our culture, our laws, our country. We are at war with these leftist scumbags. War. They will kill you if they get a chance. If they can get enough violence created, they will start killing people. We're already watching, folks, the Summer of Love 2.0, the mostly peaceful protesters who only need to start setting fires to the schools, to police stations, to public buildings, and start looting publicly for us to realize they've taken the next step. There's only one way, folks, to deal with a rabid dog, and that's to put it down. You can ask the governor, was it which governor was it? Was it Kristi Noem? South Dakota? Wyoming? Whatever the hell. She's in trouble because, well, she talked about a dog that was untrainable, that was dangerous, and had to be put down. That's what you do with rabid, fucked up people. I'm sorry, dogs. Once they attack people, they'll always attack people. Done. You want to solve the problem of crime? Done. You want to get rid of political people that are a problem? Nope. Look, folks, listen to this. The Democrat leadership in the House of Representatives has officially declared they are supporting MAGA Mike Johnson. Can you believe that? Make America Great Again, Mike Johnson, is so far out there. He is such a treasonous, traitorous sack of shit, of legislative slobbery. He is such a pansy. He is so compromised that he's doing everything the Democrats and the deep state want, that the Democrats are now supporting him. They own this motherfucker. They own him. He will say and do anything they want because they own him. What has he done? Has he molested children, raped children? Has he murdered somebody? Did he take drugs? Has he sold drugs? Is he part of a giant money laundering operation? Yeah, now he is. It's called Ukraine. And he just authorized the government to send $100 billion over to Ukraine and other places. And $1 trillion over the next 10 fucking years. Yeah, they own his ass. Extortion, bribery, they own his ass. Is that the country you want? Where politicians can be owned and they will outright show you exactly how much they're fucking you over and not give a shit. And the enemy, the Democrat Party, says, no. Marjorie Taylor Greene, your motion to vacate the seat, to kick Mike Johnson out, the vote to kick out this traitorous sack of shit is nullified because guess what? Democrats will vote to keep him in because he's doing everything the Democrats want. There is your America. That's what we have. All right, Mr. Uman. I think I've said a few things. Let's get it. We got just a few minutes. We got more comments. I don't want anyone to feel like they're not being listened to. Badass Diving Frog says, hey, John, do you think we should flip over a Jeep first and warm up since we're old before we take on the liberals? Flip over a Jeep or maybe a Yugo. Yeah, get warmed up. We're a little older. Our joints are a little, stiffer. Go lift a few Atlas stones, pull a train, with a rope. Yeah, make sure you warm up. But as far as the liberals go, I wouldn't worry about them. They're pansies and pussies. They really are. But if I was going to recommend anyone do anything, get a punching bag and start toughening up your hands, the bones in your hands, your wrists, your elbow, your shoulders. Get them in shape and toughen them up because you're going to have to fight these people. If not with a gun, with your fists. It is coming. I've been watching fights lately. Old men standing up to young idiots and just punching the fucking daylights out of them. The videos are out there, folks. People are being harassed by these idiots, and old men like me are punching them in their fucking beaks. I'm not promoting it. I'm saying it's become necessary to defend yourself. I don't think I've seen any of them. I guess I scare them. Were they afraid of a 280-pound old guy? I guess so. But anyways, here we are. And in fact, I think Uman and others have run into people who want to talk shit until it's time to stand up. And then they fucking run like cowards. Now, understand also, Democrats are cowards, like hyenas. They will attack in a pack, which is why you need an everyday carry. You need a gun. I can't take on 5 fucking punk kids. Now, I did watch a guy who was being harassed in a fucking elevator because elevator security caught the action on camera. 4 guys. He took on 4 fucking guys in an elevator and beat the ever-loving shit out of all 4 at once. I was impressed. I thought, well, wait a minute. That guy could do it. Maybe I can take on 4 or 5 of these fucking punks. I don't want to, folks, but I think I need to be ready for it. I've also watched people who, as a last resort, have had to use a firearm to defend themselves from being killed. Ooh, man, who's next? Shin Music, is this time for us to play our own game if rooftop lawn darts with these terror simps? Yeah, rooftop lawn darts. Remember the riots of what was it? Compton, Watts down in LA after the Rodney King's beatings. People were on rooftop, but instead of darts, they were letting the lead jarts go, and it worked. Men, and many of them Korean, proudly displaying their firearms while on rooftop defending their stores, their families, their homes, and their lives. Mr. Uman, who is next? He says the Charlotte shooter's name sure did not match his picture. Most articles didn't publish his picture, leading people to believe it was probably a radical right-wing guy. Assumed name upon arrival. Yeah, they're going to start giving out fake names because we don't want all of these wacko foreign names in the news. It's just too much. If you aren't convinced yet that this nation has a problem, thank you, Mr. Uman. I got your message. If you haven't been convinced yet, what will it take? If you haven't been pushed too far yet, how much further can you be pushed? How much more money can be stolen from you? How many more of your family members are going to get sucked into this retarded belief system? How much more of our country being destroyed, our laws, our infrastructure, our military, our courts? How much more do we have to endure? I swear, I probably a fucking year ago, I would have told me that I was crazy if I thought I'd be saying the things I'm saying now. I'm not saying revolt or insurrection or do anything violent. I'm just saying how much longer before it happens. That is how certain I am that it's coming. It is 2024, the election year of election years. This is the last year that America, the United States of America, the America you and I love, the red, white, and blue, this is the last chance we have to show that an election can have positive results. This is the last chance to see an American president, if he has the fucking cojones to stand up to the bureaucracy and take and strip its fucking power. The same way down in Argentina, Javier Milei, he got rid of government workers. He destroyed bureaucracy after bureaucracy. He told them, go get your own fucking jobs. We're cutting the budget. We're going to balance the budget. We're going to make the country, law-abiding, good, no more socialism. And he's fucking done it. And the people are happy. They now have a tax surplus. They're paying off their debt. They aren't being subjected to ridiculous socialist bullshit notions, regulation, and control. Here we are in America. Are we not as good as Argentina? Are we not as capable of understanding freedom, liberty, libertarianism, real money, constitutional laws? Are we not capable of that? Are we so far gone we can't get it back? Well, 2024 is going to be the test. And if we win in the election and we get President Trump, can we force him to do what he said he would do? Can we pressure him to get these fucking illegals out, to get these bullshit, un-American, pro-terrorists out of our country? I say do it. Because they have promised to take our country and turn it against us, to steal power and authority and destroy us. Fuck them. And heaven forbid that I catch one of them in my neighborhood, in my town, running around with a bullhorn and their fucking flags, screaming that they're going to use Sharia law to subdue everyone. Because I know what they're about. They have been raping, pillaging, murdering, thieving for decades in Europe. And it's been here and it's become intolerable. Chance favors the prepared mind. Are you prepared for what's coming? I'll see you soon, folks. 0 Dark 30 tomorrow. Fuck these people.